Welcome to my presentation over the National Defense Act of 1958. So the NDA really reflected the concerns and anxieties of the United States citizens in the late 1950s. So this was in the midst of the Cold War. The Soviet Union had successfully launched the first satellite into space named Sputnik 1 in 1957, and that really heightened the fears that the U.S. was falling behind both scientifically and technologically. So the NDA was seen as a direct response to the perceived Sputnik crisis and really aimed to bolster American education to produce a highly skilled workforce that's capable of advancing the nation's defense and technological capabilities. So, furthermore, the NDA was also influenced by a broader context of this Cold War, right? So the United States and the Soviet Union were engaged in a global ideological struggle, and education was really seen as like a crucial battleground rather than our traditional idea of like wars. So the NDA sought to promote American values and strengthen the democratic principles through education, while also countering the influence of the communist ideologies, mainly stemming from the USSR. So the NDEA sought to enhance the quality of education in the STEM fields, so science, technology, engineering, and math. It aimed to improve the instructions, curriculum development, and teacher training in these subjects. So the act also aimed to address the perceived threat in national security posed by the Soviet Union through their advancements in science and technology. So it sought to ensure that the United States could produce a skilled workforce capable of maintaining the national defense and technological edge. So the primary focus was those two pieces, but it really also promoted the American values to counter communism, right? So this law focused on emphasizing individual freedom and choice, as well as creating a culture and academic exchange programs with other countries. This was especially effective against the USSR at the time, as a lot of the Soviet citizens visited the US and brought back those democratic ideals, which really helped dismantle the USSR. So finally, the NDA also promoted equal access to education, particularly from students from low-income families in disadvantaged areas. A few ways that it did it, especially, was financial assistance, such as scholarships and federal loans, to support those students in pursuing higher education opportunities, especially in the scientific and technology fields. This law really reflected a utilitarian perspective on education in the US. So it emphasized the practical benefits of education for national security and economic prosperity. So by focusing on these STEM fields, the act produced many graduates with skills deemed vital to the nation's defense and also for technological advancement. So there were criticisms as well. Some of the criticisms focused that the act was too narrow on its focus on the STEM fields, and it really marginalized other fields like the humanities and social sciences, neglecting the importance of a well-rounded education. So others saw the act as some form of government intervention in education, raising concerns about the idea of academic freedom and the potential for a politically influenced curriculum. So the increased funding and therefore accessibility of this education has allowed many people from a bunch of different socioeconomic backgrounds to earn degrees, especially those in the STEM fields, which has helped fill the need for these types of workers. So the graph that's shown in the PowerPoint here is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and it shows that STEM occupations have been consistently growing at double of their non-STEM counterparts.